This is Matt in the Man Cave, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Slow-mo double fist bump. Hey guys, I hope you had an excellent day. Today we're going to be in Solomon's writings. We're in Ecclesiastes. We're in chapter 11, verse 4. Listen very carefully to this text. I thought that was very interesting in my morning reading. It says this, "He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap." You know what I'm saying? We can waste an awful lot of time staring at things and doing things that have no heavenly value or even earthly value. Have you ever been busy all day and at the end of the day you realize, man, I really didn't do much of anything? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But there's another way to look at this text, and what it is the timing that God gives us. There is a divine appointment for all of us to do things, to accomplish things, to start things. I think in my own life, I can think of many times where God was nudging me forward, but I said this to myself. I says, Lord, the conditions aren't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's the right time. Friends, when God is nudging you, when God is pushing you, when you have that peace, you need to move forward with God. See, guys, a lot of times, watch this very carefully, okay? God is nudging us forward, but we, again, are looking at everything with our wisdom and intellect, and we're trying to reason it out. And when God is nudging us in a direction, I just want to share this from the bottom of my heart. It's not going to be perfect. Oh, it's perfect for you, but it is not perfect within your mind. You are always going to find objections. You're always going to find things that aren't sitting right with you. And why is that? Because God's going to walk you through those things and you're going to handle them as you go. Friends, there's been so many decisions in my life. If I waited till everything was perfect in my life, I would have never moved forward. And I would have lost that opportunity. Yet there are times when God says, now's the time. Listen, and if you don't move right then and there, what's going to happen? You're going to miss a blessing. You're going to miss the will of God for a good portion, a good season of your life. It's happened to me where I missed out on God's best. I had to settle for what I know was the less. It was not God's best. It was much less because I didn't obey God. And again, the text is talking about an individual who might be just staring up into the sky, laying out in a lounge chair, and God has called him to do something other than that. There's nothing wrong with R&R. You know, just a couple days ago, I was talking about rain and ribs, and those two things really relax me. But guys, there is a time for that, and there is a season for that to R&R, okay? But there's a time when God is moving you, and he has a specific task for you to do. He wants to bless you, but he's just not going to show up and have an angel bring a briefcase full of money to you. But he will open a door, and he wants you to walk through that door. And if you're looking at that door thinking on the other side of the door, it has to be like this and this and this and this and this, or I'm not moving forward. Friends, are you kidding me? You'll never take a step out of your house in your entire life. It's never perfect, and it's always going to be challenges and obstacles, but it's nothing that God can't handle through you if you will submit your life to him. Are you staring at the clouds? That's good. But when God says, stop staring at the clouds and go through this door that I have for you, you want to do it. Friends, what I'm talking about totally reminds me, okay, of the Israelites that were coming out of Egypt. They wanted to go into the promised land, and when the day came, okay, for them to go into the promised land, before they entered, they sent the spies to spy out the land. Well, because of the what? Because of the report, the negative report, the naysayers, okay, of the spies, okay? God says you're not going to go because they did not respond by faith. They didn't trust God. And because those 10 spies looked with carnal eyes at all the obstacles, that was the report, they said. They said, hey, it's like you said, it's a land flowing with milk and honey. There's everything there. It would be great. But then they started looking at the what? The men, how big they were, how strong they were. They started looking at the cities. They started looking at the opposition and their enemies that they were going to have to fight. And so they concluded with their carnal minds and their limited wisdom, it can't be done. We can't do it. Friends, you and I can't do anything. They had that right, but Christ through me, there's nothing that you can't do. And again, the very next day, they're mad because they can't enter the promised land, and they've decided, okay, we're ready to go. And God says no. And Moses says, no, you can't. Moses warned them, if you go into the promised land, you're going to die. You're going to be defeated. And they mustered up the strength and says, hey, we've been walking in the desert for a month now. We're not doing this. We're going, okay? And what happened? The word of the Lord spoken through God, through Moses to the people, ignored, and they lost a lot of lives because of not responding to God when he said, move forward. 40 long years in the desert until that generation died off. The only two were the two that gave the positive report. Friends, the only two that got to go into the promised land some 40 years later, okay, was Joshua and Caleb, because out of the 12 spies, those were the only two that gave a favorable reading, okay, an assessment. We can take the land. We can do it. Look who's backing us. I mean, they were so excited to take a sword and just go take what God had given them. Friends, God has given you a lot. But some of you aren't taking it. Some of you are backing down. Some of you are saying it can't be done. Some of you are saying it's not perfect. Some of you are saying, oh no, it's not the right timing. I just don't have a good feeling about this. Friends, when will you have a good feeling? When there's the yellow brick road to your bank? Are you kidding me? Go out and seize this life. God has put everything before you. When you go to the buffet, are you asking someone else to put the chicken, the mashed potatoes, the roll, and the coleslaw on your plate? Or are you dishing it up? I'm asking you to dish it up in the strength of Christ. Where he leads, follow him, and you will never lose in this lifetime. He has so many opportunities, so many blessings, so many doors that he's willing and wanting you to go through, but you are sizing up the situation. Stop staring at the clouds, stop paying attention to the wind, okay, reading the paper and wasting your life and wasting your time, and go out and get what God says is yours, friends. And I'm not messing with you. It's yours. Guys, where God guides, he provides, and he will provide the victory for you and your family. He will do it all. You just need to do this one thing: believe, trust, and obey. That's all you got to do. Believe, trust, and obey. Get up in the morning and walk forward in what he has spoken to you. You couldn't lose if you tried. You literally couldn't lose when your eyes are upon him. But yesterday we talked about Peter taking his eyes off of Christ and he sunk. Don't take your eyes off of God. Don't do it, because you will sink so fast, okay? Because you will look at the stuff like those 10 spies and give a negative report to God. And God doesn't like negativity. He wants people to trust him. He's God. There is no other. Are you saying your God can't secure the victory for you and through you? Oh my goodness. Get out of the cave if you think like that. I want frontline warriors. I want the strongest of the strong. And those are the guys that are on their knees crying out to God, strengthen me. Fill me with your spirit. Forgive me of my shortfalls and my sin, okay? They're not perfect. They're just forgiven. But they'll fall 7 times, but by golly, they get right back up. The guys in the man cave that I know, they can take a beating, okay? And the next day, they're ready for round 2. Friends, most people can't go 13 rounds, but King Jesus did. Boom, boom, boom. Death, hell, the cross, and the grave. Jesus defeated them all. You're in the winner's circle. Don't forget it. This is Matt, late night in the man cave.
the man cave, my friends. The man cave.